Try and hold it in your mouth for like 7 to 12 seconds and move it around, chew it, and kind of get it around the mouth. And
hit every taste bud.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember at the Scotch Whiskey Experience, they said you should be like, kind of as one way to do it, of like
almost
literally like
chewing,
and it gets more of the flavor. Oh man.
It's just like an ASMR thing.
That is so good.
And there's two things you want to pay attention to here. Is the taste is what's happening in your mouth while the whiskey's there, and then the finish is what's happening in your mouth after the whiskey's gone. And if you can't identify the flavors, I like to find like where in my mouth am I feeling this? Because sometimes the roof of the mouth is really activated, or the sides of the cheeks, or the tongue.
Center of the tongue forward.
Yeah, a little bit there.
I'm getting on the sides, like very much on the sides of the tongue, I think.
But this is crazy. I would think that had to do with where I put it the most, like my particular way of swishing. Mm-hmm. But it is the whiskey itself.
It's the whiskey itself.
That activates a certain part.
Yeah, because there's certain types of flavors and stuff in here.
Different parts of your tongue have activate different flavors.
Right,
Have you seen
There's
that diagram?
the sweet, salty, bitter,
Right.
umami. Yeah. Well, I wonder what's in the middle, towards the front. I'm gonna say sweet.
Sweet, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm learning so much. You can maybe find that diagram and put it right here.
I could. I didn't. I guess I'm too lazy.
You just put a gif of your head shaking no.
May have happened.
Yeah, this is really good.
Becca, do you want to show people where the River Spey is to show the region of Scotland that these whiskies today are from?
Grantown on Spey is this river right here.
Well, that's the Spey
town.
River. That's the town.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This region.
Yeah. And it is classified as the Spey region, the Speyside region of Scotland.
Have you been there?
I have.
What's there?
There's a lovely river, a lot of green, because one of the things you need to make whiskey is water. Lots and lots of water. Like 60 to 100 gallons of water per gallon of whiskey produced.
Oh my God, we're
Very
ruining
water
the
intensive.
environment for this delicious thing.
Really, they're mostly 99% clean. The worst thing they produce is hot water, which they can dissipate and get rid of. The malt, after it's made the beer, the low spirits, goes out and gets fed to cows. They recycle that.
See, the cows, they're the ones who are really wasting water.
That's right.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty cows.
And the, petroleum and coal. But other than that.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Now, since we're talking about water, we can talk about adding water to your whiskey. Now, some people just take a glass and start pouring water in there. I do not recommend that. You can do anything you want with your whiskey, but this ain't your whiskey. This is my whiskey you're having right now.
Okay. No,
Fair enough. I will follow your rules, sir.
So, really, if you're going to taste it with water, and you want to taste it without first, obviously, because you can't take the water out once you've added it. If a whiskey is kind of tight and you're having trouble really getting to the flavor, it might need a little bit of time, or water will accelerate that as well. Will kind of push.
Tight whiskey, meaning you feel it everywhere all at once, kind of thing. You can identify.
It just feels like the flavor's just kind of like it's not really exposing itself. Like it's just you know you've got.
That's what the whiskey's thinking.
Yeah, like
I won't tell you what I'm about.
Yeah, exactly.
I have secrets in their mind.
It just needs to break out. You want to kind of push it out.
Okay, it's like giving a human LSD.
Right. Kind of. It expands the mind.
Open your mind. Yeah, and it's interesting to me. And did you put a drop of water in there?
No, yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm tasting it without so I can compare with, just to see, because this is the science thing of like tasting it without and then tasting with and seeing did it get better for me. And it can be different on the nose, it can be different in the taste, it can be different in the finish. And sometimes really lovely things come out, and sometimes things come out where you're like, oh no.
I got more caramel that time.
Yeah, I just think that's so interesting that sometimes the water makes the whiskey better, and sometimes it makes it less better.
Makes it less better. That's correct grammar.
One drop at a time, huh?
I would do that, yeah. And maybe
it's
one.
Your whiskey. I can't do 2 drops?
You could do 2 drops.
2 drops. Oh, but 2's not a. Everything's better in 3s.
This is not a martini where you're putting olives in. And then if you can remember how the nose was.
Oh, it's different.
Better.
Oh, but my mouth was closed. Like an idiot.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I should have just done one drop.
It does expand it. Like it does.
There's just
like it's
more.
It seems more floral. Like it's almost like a before it was like a one flower. Now it's like I feel like I'm standing in a field of wildflowers, kind of like.
And just one or two drops can do that. Can really change the character of it.
That's so.
So if you're going for a single malt, this is all you want to add. You want to just keep that flavor because that's why you're going for a single malt whiskey is because it's a single origin and the flavor is what they found in the cask. They're not adding water. Actually, this one they are adding water. It's 40%, so it's watered down to the minimum amount you can have whiskey percentage at. It has to start at 40. It can go up to 72 or something before it starts becoming toxic.
Well, you look specifically at me at that.
I'm just saying, I blame you.
It is my fault.
The X-rated
I'm responsible
episode.
for everything that's toxic.
Yeah.
You get that. Don't think of yourself that way, Joseph.
I don't mean to, but I am responsible for it. I'm sorry.
It's good for you to take the responsibility.
Someone's got to do it.
Something that people don't do, isn't it?
It's like that Kids in the Hall sketch. I'm sorry for all the cancer I caused. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
It's
almost spicier with water.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it more on the tip of the tongue, which I think is the bitter part. That diagram that you put in earlier will really
it'll make it
prove me right or wrong.
It is like a completely different whiskey though. Like
I get it. It's more effervescent. I feel the side of my tongue now more.
Effervescent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of got a sparkle to it.
More of a tang to it, like almost more citrusy, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, you're eating that orange at the carnival now, and you're getting that.
That's insane to me. I add water to my whiskey when I'm like, this is too much flavor. I need it to chill out, and then it can do the opposite.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this water isn't helping.
But you could, blended whiskey, go ahead, put an ice cube in, do whatever you want. Again, if it's yours, even if it's yours and you want to buy a $400 bottle and you want to put an ice cube in it, you're an idiot, but you can do it, it's yours.
What if you buy a $400 ice cube to go with it?
Well, I want to be your Iceman.
So, some people might wonder, and there's no stupid questions. What's the difference between a blended whiskey and like a single malt?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Maybe I shouldn't glaze over the things I don't understand. That's a great question.
It's a really good question. There's all sorts of levels of whiskey. So a blended whiskey is one where they've gone and taken casks from multiple distilleries and they've said, we're going to aim for a specific flavor. So, Johnny Walker is one of those where they have like 12 distilleries around Scotland and they take casks from all of them and they have a master blender who was actually one of the ones who was so excited when he found out he could breathe with his mouth open, he could smell with his mouth open. He's like, oh, this makes it so much easier to smell. I think it was Beveridge, was it? I think his name was Peter Beveridge. I'll look it up.
His name was
Mr.
Peter Beveridge?
Beveridge?
I mean, what else can you do, right?
Wow.
It may not be that. I'll put it in.
Him and Mr. Peanut should hang out. Oh, Mr. Peanut's dead now, though, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I read that today.
Yeah,
they
he died.
nixed him.
He fell off of a cliff, saving his friends.
That's nuts.
Wait, legitimately? That's their story?
Yeah, they showed it. They're all hanging from a branch, and he let go. They're gonna have a funeral, I believe, during the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wow. I saw a headline about Mr. Peanut being no more.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
dead.
realize he...
But Mr. Beveridge is still with us.
Yes. Anyway, blended. So they will take all of these casks from various different distilleries and they'll blend it together to hit a certain taste profile because they want you to get that taste every single time you go in. And you can't just do that by saying, oh, we take 2% of that, 8% of that, and blend it together. You have to look at the casks because it's a natural product. It's made in wood, it's aged for so many years, and you just have to kind of go, oh, this is a little bit too bitter, and they're experts at tasting this stuff. The horrible thing is they don't swallow the whiskey because they would get too drunk to work for 8 hours and blend something at the end. The thing you had at the end would be not the same as what you got in the morning, so they spit it out.
Spit buckets worth
Yeah.
hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they could probably sell those spit buckets.
Anyway.
Do you know that people have a natural affinity towards things that are related to their own name or their own birthday? I really like this podcast, Hidden Brain, and it's an NPR podcast, and they talk about this in one of the episodes, that women named Georgia are more likely to move to Georgia. People are likely to marry someone who has their same birthday and get married on that day. Like, people love things that seem serendipitous, but really they've just chosen to gravitate towards it.
Oh, totally.
So
Is
Mr.
your middle name
Beverage.
California?
Yeah!
My middle name is California Scotch Man. None of
You
that's
made
true.
man?
Yeah, my parents were weirdos. I mean, we love connecting things, you know?
Yeah.
Like our brains love to connect things, even when they're not connected.
The idea of serendipity,
Yeah.
whether or not it's there or forced. That's why we love astrology so much.
Like Pi
But that's
Day.
real, it's different.
Pi Day 3/14. It's like, wow, that's.
I
really
gotta
good.
eat pie.
It's actually March 13th, so it's not. You got a Pi
1,
Day?
4, 1, 5,
Yeah, good for you.
9, 2,
6.
5. I know.
I don't know.
Oh.
I forget. I used to know it more.
Oh, don't worry, we'll put it right down here.
This is not the calculation of the Digits of Pi podcast. So.
And I'm gonna just keep it scrolling because it'll go forever.
We just put a picture of pie.
That might happen. Running across. So there you go. So there's the first one, which is really nice. What do you think?
Thank you. Thanks, Andrea.
I much prefer it without water.
Huh. See,
I
that's
also
good to
put
know.
3 drops like an idiot.
You know what? I don't know which. Like, I liked both, but I don't know that I liked one better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were just, but they were so different. You know what I mean?
I purposely put too much water so I would be able to see the contrast.
Yes, and it's nice for you to have that point of view that you didn't like it as much. That's interesting information. So 2 of us were like maybe 50-50 on the water. Yes, try it, but try it without.
One
And
drop
you-
first.
Yeah. See, you
Yeah.
can't take it out.